Still 3 hours to fit a radiator. Radiators are just long. There's just no two ways about it. And like I said, the biggest thing that can be a ball ache is not having a good wall to get fixings on. Right, radiator is level. We're on the wall. I've drained the pressure off. Now obviously there is still going to be water left in there. You can see it's sitting up there and sitting up there. So what I'm going to do with the multi-tool, I'm going to make a little cut underneath here on that elbow and on that elbow, just to let whatever water's in there drain out. And then I should be able to, once the water's out there, I should be able to sweat that elbow off and then redo a new bit of pipe work with a new valve on there. Good morning. We are still morning, just about 11:07. It is Friday, the 7th. Why am I saying it's Friday? It's not Friday, it's Tuesday, but it is the 7th of October. Ignore that last first bit. It's Tuesday, the 7th of October. And my first job today is a column radiator. Now, radiator installs can go either great or they can be an absolute nightmare. For me, the key thing is having a solid wall with good fixings. As long as I've got that, pipework alterations and stuff like that, I can deal with that. But hanging the damn thing on the wall is usually the most troublesome thing. If you've got crap walls, if they just crumble, and especially with a column radiator, I'll go in and show you in a minute. It's not a massive radiator, so it's not going to be too heavy, so I'm hoping it should be okay, and it is going in place of where there was an old radiator. Little fun fact, I done the boiler here many years ago. It came through an insurance job, and there was multiple issues with the boiler and they deemed it beyond economical repair, and then the customer got me in to do the new boiler. There was a few alterations I had to make. There wasn't a bypass and it's a system boiler, so I added those bits. I'll go and show you the install in a minute once I go in there. But let's go and have a look at the radiator. And before we get started, as always, if there's anything that you guys are interested in from the affiliates that I work with, all the links are in the description. So you've got discounts with Rhino Trade Insurance, Unilight for, well, all the Unilights. Tool Monster Store, you got 5% off code there as well. And if you are looking for a job management software app, check out Powered Now, because they have offers all throughout the year. I think at the time of me recording this thing, they're doing a 30-day free trial. You don't have to enter any payment details or anything like that. I use it, I've been using it before I started working with them, and I think it's a fantastic app. It just helps you keep on top of all your admin stuff. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys are interested in on that side, check out the links in the description and fill your boots. But let's go inside and have a look at the job that we are here to do today. Right, this is the radiator that's going in. So there was a standard rad here and we've got a column radiator going in. Now it doesn't say that it's got any specific inlet or outlet ports, but the only thing it does say is on the front here, well, on the back it says front, so we need to flip this round. Pipework is in the wall, so we're a little bit limited as to what we can do with it, but my plan is to try and get the radiator hung in line with the valves, and then I brought a selection of rad tail extensions, and then yeah, it's not a massive gap between the two. Short extensions should hopefully get us onto there. And again, undecided whether we're going to reuse these valves or if we're going to put a new set of TRV and lock shields on. At the moment, there's no other valves with it, it's just a radiator. We'll decide that afterwards. I'm going to get these brackets off. I mean, this, oh, that doesn't sound great. So I'm hoping behind it, it's a little bit better. But first things first, let me go to the boiler room, lock that off, dump the pressure out of the system. Actually, do you know what? I'll do that afterwards. Let me first get the radiator hung, and then we'll do all the other jazzy bits. Yeah, I've not been blessed with the best wall. That one was crumbly, that one was okay, that one was okay, that was crumbly. So what's better than 2 plugs? 3 plugs. So yeah, well, as I was drilling, obviously it's just gone all the way through, so I've had to do the same on this one. So I put 3 plugs in there, and that's holding. That one's holding. The rad is level. One thing I didn't anticipate is obviously the depth of the rad, so I'm going to have to adjust the pipework anyway because it sits out further, but I've got it hung so that it's in line with the existing valves already. But I reckon what I'm probably going to have to do is maybe sweat off the elbows here, then extend it out and then into the valves once I see how the valves are sitting and everything. But let's get these top brackets on, let's get the radiator on, and then I can start dealing with the pipework side of things. Right, radiator is level, we're on the wall. I've drained the pressure off. Now obviously there is still going to be water left in there. You can see it's sitting up there and sitting up there. So what I'm going to do with the multi-tool, I'm going to make a little cut underneath here on that elbow and on that elbow, just to let whatever water's in there drain out, and then I should be able to, once the water's out there, I should be able to sweat that elbow off and then redo a new bit of pipework with the new valve on there. Mind your ears. There we go. What I might actually do is try and cut this off from here. Hopefully I've not butchered that too much. No, that is just the elbow, so I should now be able to get the rest of the water out there with the wet vac, and then hopefully sweat that off. Right, that's how I've done my pipework up to that. So now let's get soldering. Oh, it's always slightly depressing getting out the soldering stuff. I'm so used to pressing now, but there are times where we need to solder. This is one of them. So let's solder. Right, that is all soldered up. I did think maybe there was a bit of water at the bottom, but it wasn't. It's all gone all the way around. So that's all good. Now I'm just going to get the other side done. I'm not going to record this one. I'm just going to get it done, and then we'll come back when we come to filling up. Right, we're all done. We're all filled up, and no leaks from any of the soldered joints, which is always a good sign. And what's an even better sign? It's getting nice and hot. All of the columns. Happy days. So this is the Testo 860i wireless thermal imaging camera. So it connects up via Bluetooth to your mobile phone, tablet, whatever. And then yeah, you can see everything just off your phone. You can take photos of it, like so. There's loads of bits that you can do with it, but it's a very handy bit of kit. I quite like it, but main thing is that radiator's done. Now let's get on to the next one. So radiator job is done. That took me 3.5 hours from start to finish. Obviously taking into account, I stopped for lunch. 20 minutes maybe, took a few phone calls. Let's take half an hour off. Still 3 hours to fit a radiator. Radiators are just long. There's just no two ways about it. And like I said, the biggest thing that can be a ball ache is not having a good wall to get fixings on. And mine was hit and miss. I managed to get the fixings on, but like you said, I had to use 3 plugs on some of them because where you got to do the 2 holes, it just straight through. But anyway, I'm at a job now to have a look at an underfloor heating system. I think there's a problem with the controls or something. I'm not entirely sure, but let's go and let's have a look. Right, this is the underfloor heating job. So the issue we've got here is there's nothing on that control panel, no display whatsoever. I don't know if a fuse is blown in there or if this wiring center has become faulty. So the first thing I'm going to do, I can see obviously we've got power coming from there. I'm going to open this up, check that we've got power going to it and see if there's maybe like a quick blow fuse inside it or something like that. Because obviously when they're turning the thermostats up, nothing's happening, because if that's not got any power, then it's not going to be talking to the actuators or the zone valve, etc. Let's get the cover off, check for power and all that, and go from there. Right, I've got the cover off. Now, this is our main supply, so 1 prob in the earth. Right, 240 on live and earth, 240 between live and neutral. Nothing between neutral and earth, that's fine. So we know we've got our power coming in. Now let me turn a stat up. Right, nothing's happening on there at the moment. Let me go and see what the boiler's doing. So at the boiler, it's on for heating. The little time switch, that's on for heating, but we're not getting anything over here. So I'm gonna kill the power to this. I'm gonna check there's a fuse on here. Let me flip this back around. So you can see there's a fuse in there. So I'm gonna check that fuse, see if that fuse is good. I can't see any other fuses on there, but if we aren't getting power past that fuse, then we know that fuse is blown, and hopefully I've got that fuse on the van and I can swap that out. Right, I've got the fuse out, and let's normally find the easiest way to do it is these probes. I think the probes are right distance for the fuse. That fuse is not giving me any continuity. So let me pop down to the van, grab another fuse, and hopefully that sorts the issue out. Just popped a new fuse in. Now let's see what happens. Okay, that's a good sign. We have display on there. Zone valve is starting to motor over, and now there we go. We have some lights on there. That pump's spinning. There you go. You can see all the lights on there. And now the boiler has got a demand and it's fired up. Job done.